Hi, how are you today? I'm out in my element. You don't know me, I love nature. I love being outside. I love just the land, right? Just being outside. That's me. Do you like being outside? I love it. Get all kinds of sounds, birds, people, talking, playing, doing whatever. Makes me just happy and glad just to be alive, just to be grateful. Speaking of business and laws of the universe, laws of the land, they're kind of loud, right? I don't know if I should move or not. Here I came here to be seclusive and I didn't realize how loud they'd be. But at any rate, it doesn't matter. Hey, Renee here in another video. I'm in my element. I'm outside. I love being outside. Do you? I love being outside. I love reading. I like vegetables. I like good people. I like horseback riding. I like the fresh, clean air. And I like quietness. I like peace of mind. I used to like a boy named Kevin. I was in love with him. My first sexual event was when I was 18. My mom didn't want me to be with him. I couldn't go to prom because I had to be home by midnight. All these laws, all these rules, laws and rules. What are they? And who should care? Let's get into it. We use laws every day, right? They're playing basketball right now. I bet you there's laws and there's rules to the game. Just to make an example, laws and rules to the game. Remember when back in the day when your mom would tell you had to come in a certain time and you didn't? Maybe you went to the club. I know me, I used to club. I used to, get my party on. And she told you to be in a certain time and you wasn't. And did you ever feel scared? Like, oh shit, I'm gonna be in trouble, I'm gonna be grounded. Or maybe your parents wasn't gonna do anything, but there was something that you was scared about. Some rule or a law that they said that you broke. And your life wasn't the same for a couple of weeks. Well, there's laws to everything. There's laws to the universe, law of assumption, I know you've heard that, law of attraction, law of gravity. And the law of gravity I love because it applies to us all. If you want to start a business, you want to get a new relationship, say you want to move, and especially that famous one, getting out of a job that you hate. Say you want to do all of that. These laws, the laws of assumption, the law of magnetism, the law of gravity, the law of attraction, those all are valid laws that you don't have to believe in, but you must obey. You must obey. Just like when mom and dad said something, you must obey. And you don't have to obey, but there's consequences. The law of gravity. If you throw something up, it's freaking coming down on your head and you better move. You know, the law of gravity, that's how it goes. The law of gravity to me is everything moves at a certain speed until something comes along and stops it. And my something is a thought. And if you want to leave your job and you want to change anything, it first comes with a thought. You don't just rush over and do it right away. There's no way you can do that. I mean, when I first started my business, I kept saying, oh, I don't want to work here, I don't want to work here. But the moment I stopped saying that and let it go and just start walking into what I wanted to do, it happened. I used to work at a telephone company and I love oil fragrances. So I would wear them heavily, put them on heavily, you know what I mean? So people could smell me. And it worked, they did. And I would wear soft scents. I didn't try to irritate anybody. And even if I did, oh well, mind your own business. Because minding your own business is one way to make the laws work for you. Had you listened to your mom and dad when they told you to come in a certain hour, you wouldn't have been affected at all. But because you swayed from the law, swayed from what they said, you experienced some kind of difficulty, yes? So the same thing with law of attraction, law of assumption, law of gravity. If you obey the laws within that circumference, you can't help but to flourish and fly and get out of your cocoon just like a butterfly. For example, okay, you say you want to start a business and you want to leave your job. The first thing to do to stop the law of gravity from even the motion of you working, to me, is to stop the thought. Stop the thought. Okay, I work here but I do want my own business. Okay, say that. I work here. I want my own business. Susie's doing this. Larry's doing this. And I can't stand Akbar. He kills me with those cigarettes and want to go outside every 5 minutes when he knows he got work to do. I'm not doing his work. So I feel all of that. But the first thing to stop all that BS and confusion from happening is the thought. Turn it around. Look at it as, yeah, he smokes those cigarettes and does this and that, but guess what? The boss is watching him. And 9 times out of 10, you'll go places where he'll still be sitting smoking cigarettes at the smoke break. So don't worry about any of things like that. Put your mind and set your intention. That's what it is. Because people set laws like our parents, but they never told us why. They never told us the intention of why they were saying it. So I'm here to tell you, I started a business outside, and if that wasn't setting an intention, I don't know what was, and it worked. And I went on a dare from the law of assumption, what I was assuming the whole time. I worked at the job. I was at my job for 7 years and 10 years. I stayed there 3 years afterwards, but I wasn't really concentrating on, let's say, it's not that I wasn't concentrating on the law of assumption or the law of attraction. I let it go. Why? Listen to why. Because once I start wearing those fragrances heavily like that, people, my coworkers, they weren't strangers. They started asking me, like, what do you have on? What's that you got? Did you go to Nordstrom's? We were making good money. Did you go to Nordstrom's and get that? Did you go to Macy's? Did you go to the mall? Like, exclusive places because how good it smelled. Anyway, I started selling it to them. So I had one check in one hand and oil fragrance money in the other hand. And I assumed, I acted as if that was my business. Every time I got money, I assumed like, oh yeah, I got money, I got business and this and that. And then years later, I started setting up outside. But my main point is to say, the law of assumption, the law of attraction, and the law of gravity, the law of come to me, the law of I want, the law of desire starts with a thought. When's the last time you read a book? Books make you think of things outside of the box. You could read something in a book. This is me. When you read something in a book, it's like you read it, then after a while you start thinking like a movie. You start thinking of all this stuff. So if you want to leave a job that you hate, start thinking that you work there. However, you got something else going on. Start imagining something different. That's what I did. A law of assumption, a law of assuming, a law of attracting something different, a law of gravity, something better and different to fall down upon you. And it starts with a thought. So that's what I would say. That's the first thing to do, is set an intention for what you want and then start thinking of it. In the midst of all of it, start thinking of what you want. And on this channel, I call you diamonds because we're under so much pressure. And pressure only creates wonderful results. So that's what I look at. Thank you, diamonds. And that's what I call it. Male or female, you shine to me. That's how I look at it. Law of assumption, law of gravity. Use the law of all the powers that be in the laws. Because run a red light, there's a law to that too. The law is there until you tamper with it. And then you know it's there. Then you know it's true, right? So the next time you think about, I don't like this job. I want a different place to stay. This person's getting on my damn nerves. Just use your imagination right where you are. Impose right on them and start thinking different other than what it is. And once you start doing that for a long period of time, believe me, things start to shift. Things start to change. And I'm here for you too. You can always reach out to me. I'll see you in the next video. I'll be back very, very soon. Renee here. They call me Lady Outside because I love to be outside. Just like I am right now. I once heard a quote by Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy and Earl Nightingale. I used to listen to them before I started my business outside. And those two people, powerful, especially Brian Tracy. He taught me so much. That was just the first kind of book that I read on any kind of inspiration in my life. And I remember Brian Tracy saying that we are goal-oriented organisms. He said we're goal-oriented organisms. Therefore, if we're goal-oriented organisms, by nature, we are achievers. By nature, we are go-getters. But a lot of that go-getter stuff doesn't always have to be done in the physical. Because I remember when I used to be set up outside, a lot of people used to pass by and say, hey, Ma, I see your grind. You got that hustle going on. I was never grinding. I was always in ebb and flow, just like now. Just like if I chose to say, okay, everybody can meet me here to sell my oils, I think people will come. You know, it's just a different incentive. It's a different attraction now that I'm wanting. I'm online serving other people. I've done a lot of things I think I could benefit others from. So that's my goal organism motivation right now. As Brian Tracy said, we're all goal-oriented organisms. That means we always have that get and go in us already. So at a job you don't like, start getting up and going in your mind. Yeah, I'm here to get on my nerves, but guess what? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Start imagining everything that you want it to be. Might not come out perfect like that, but it'll start to set the wheels in motion for what you do want. Believe that. Brian Tracy says that we're all goal-oriented organisms. And he said also that the top 5% of people that fail in business is because they have a low self-worth. They don't think highly of themselves. So that's why their business is not, progressed. And I say, because I have an opinion too, I say that the top percentage of people, like he say, they are goal organism and they have a high self-esteem. But then the low portion of that, like maybe you didn't have Billy Bob helping you or Charlie Lowe helping you out on the back end with money or advice. Maybe you didn't have that. So the goal-oriented organism, where's that in you if you didn't have that? So I say, yes, he's right. We all are goal-oriented organisms as long as we're nurtured. That's like a flower, anything outside. If you don't water it, it's going to die. So that's what it's about. It's about the top 5% have the knowledge to proceed, where maybe the lower percentage does not. And that, my friend, is where I come in to help you. That's how I look at it. It's what you know. And a lot of times hurt you is what you don't know. But in this era right now, this 2024 era that we're in, you have to have a strategy. That's what you have to have, and set a great intention. And that's the reason for success. There's laws all over, and you don't have to believe in them, but at least check them out to find out, to make sure you don't violate them. So if you're trying to start a business and anything like that, don't self-sabotage yourself by not thinking of what you want before you start the action. So let me know if that helps you. If that helps you in any way, let me know. Leave a comment or email me, oils43213@yahoo.com. I'm out here feeling abundance, feeling gratitude, and manifesting abundance. Because that's exactly what I'm doing. Connecting with people just like you.